Hello students, Tim here from Lessons on the Web, and today I'm going to give you some really important tips on how to make the most progress in the shortest amount of time when learning how to play the piano. So if you want to learn how to get better at piano in a short amount of time, you need to buckle down, get focused, and come up with goals and try your best to reach those goals. And in this guide today, I'm going to talk about some strategies on how you can meet those goals the best way possible. There's a formula I want you to know about before we do this, and it's that focus plus practice equals results, right? And probably not something we all wanted to hear, is that we need to practice more, but it's so true. Now, what do I mean by focus? We all know what practice is. Focus obviously is, concentrating on what's in front of you, but it also means that you're not getting distracted with, let me put it this way. If you're playing piano and you play piano for an hour, right? You can still be playing piano, but still be getting distracted away from what you're supposed to be practicing. So when I say focus, I'm really talking about being focused in, concentrating on the things you should be practicing, not the things that you kind of end up practicing, because you get bored of some of the other things. So focus plus practice equals results. Remember that. If you remember that, you will be successful. Okay, so like I said, focus is really important, but what's also important is practice. So how much time should you be spending at the piano each day? Well, remember I said in other videos that it's better to practice a little bit each day, every day, if it's possible, than it is to practice, 5 hours in just one day, mainly because your brain is able to latch on smaller, shorter durations of information a lot better than long, drawn out, pieces of information, because as everybody knows, I know personally as well, as we start to daydream or think about what else is happening, our brains just wander on their own. So it's always better to digest new piano material a little bit every day than a lot all at once. That being said, here is a general guideline on how long you should be practicing each day. 15 and 30 minutes will get you a decent amount of progress if you're a beginner. If you're just starting out, that's probably all you really need is 15 to 30 minutes every day. And if you can't fit it in every day, that's fine. Maybe 5 days a week would probably be good as well. If you can get that, you can go from probably a beginner piano student in over a month, make some fairly good progress, and be able to play some simple songs. If you want to move up past that, 30 minutes to an hour is what you need to play, more substantial songs like Für Elise, maybe some other Beethoven or Bach songs as well. But 30 minutes to an hour is what you need if you want to move past a beginner level into the intermediate. So remember, 30 minutes to an hour is what you need if you want to start playing more substantial pieces and getting better. 1 hour to 2 hours is if you're serious about playing piano, you really want to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time. That's the way to go. And then 2 to 4 hours, which I think a lot of us aren't going to be doing, is if you're really striving to become a professional piano player. You need that time almost every single day. Obviously, things come up, and we have to be realistic. Now I'm going to get into what you should be practicing before we get on to the focus portion. What you should be practicing, right? You should be practicing, you should have a warm-up, whether you're doing the lower end of the practice spectrum or the larger end. About a third of your playing time should be taken up with a warm-up. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, these are things like scales, right? And you want to start out learning one scale at a time if you're a beginner. And if you're a beginner, you want to play your scales, you want to go through and learn all your major and minor scales 1 octave. So I'm going to play that here right now, even though I don't have the piano, up in front of us. But that's generally how you want to play your scales. If you want to get more advanced, you want to play them 2 octaves. And if you want to get more advanced, sorry, it's something in the middle of the keyboard here. Like that. And then if you want to get even more advanced, you want to practice them along with the metronome, which we've talked about a little bit before. You also want to learn arpeggios. So if you get a scales and arpeggios book, you'll get all the arpeggios in there. All arpeggio is, we've made an arpeggio lesson before, by the way. It's hard to do these and talk at the same time. It's really just instead of playing a chord, you're playing the notes separately. And same thing with that. For beginners, play it up 1 octave. For intermediates, play it 2 octaves. And if you're advanced, 4 octaves, right? And then you should also be learning your hand exercises, which our regular live stream attendee Rich practices his hand exercises a lot, and I'm sure it's really helped him, and hopefully helps you as well if you are keeping up with your Hannon. Hannon is a book of exercises, by the way, that you should really get. You can get it free online. I'll put a link in the description. Czerny is also a great exercise book to go through. These are more like scale exercises and things like that, but also very, very good. And these things all improve your dexterity, all improve your note reading, all improve your what's the other word for dexterity? All improve your coordination with your hands. And then the last thing, which is actually the main part of your lesson when you do practice, is you want to have 1 to 3 songs that you're working on at any given time. Now, this depends on how well you're able to absorb the information in a lesson. If you're a little bit slower of a learner, I would stick with maybe 1 to 2 songs at a time that you're learning. And then if you're, if you feel like you can push yourself a little bit more, try learning 3 songs. Obviously, when I say learn 3 songs at a time, you're not going to play them all at the same time all at once. You're going to, like, within a certain time period. So over a month, you'll learn 3 songs. Some of them may take you longer than a month to play. Don't worry if a song is taking you longer than you expected to play. It means that it's a little bit more challenging and that you'll get more out of it by playing them. You want to play songs also that are around your level, that are just above your level, your current level. You don't want to do like right at your level all the time because it really won't push you to get to that next level. You also don't want to practice something way above your level because you'll get frustrated and there is a lot of things then in that song that you're just not going to get. So you want to always be looking to move a little bit past your comfort point. And then, like I mentioned in the beginning of the lesson, focus is a huge, huge thing. You not only need to just be playing piano for the amount of time. By the way, I suggest you set a timer when you do practice and don't get up unless you have to go to the bathroom or something until that timer is finished. And if you do go to the bathroom, reset the timer, for whatever minutes you were gone. You want to be spending that half an hour, that hour solid right at the piano. You don't want to be getting up and getting distracted. But like the point I was about to make is even if you're sitting at the piano, playing the piano, you can still become distracted, right? You can start playing your favorite Beatles song or a pop tune or something like that, and it's not necessarily in line with what you should be practicing. And don't be wrong, you'll get a little bit better doing that, but the problem is that you're not going to be focusing on what's really, really important. And another thing about focus is that you want to train yourself to start with the problem areas when you practice. You don't want to start from the beginning of the song all the time. We talked about that in the, I think, the 5 elements of success when playing piano video, that you shouldn't start from the beginning all the time because that makes the beginning of the song really good, and then it makes the middle of the song like, oh, pretty good, I guess, kind of good, and then the end of the song just isn't nearly as good. So after practicing a song for a few weeks, start from like whatever areas give you the most trouble, and that way that will polish those through. It will make you be able to learn the song a lot faster. Okay, here's your plan for success. I want you to do this over the next month, and I want you to leave any comments or questions you have about this in the comments of this video. And then after the month is over and you did this, I want you to come back and let me know what kind of progress you made here in the comments once again on this video. So over this next month, I want you to make a commitment to practice every day. And if you can't do it this month, plan to do it the next month. But you want to make a commitment to practice every day. So if you're practicing 5 days a week now, try to fit in that extra 2 days a week. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick from the different practice tiers that we talked about. So from 15 to 30 minutes. If you're just starting out, from 30 minutes to an hour if you are trying to get better. 1 hour to 2 hours if you're really trying to get into those good results, and then 2 hours to 4 hours if you want that professional level of practice. So it's up to you to decide what level you want to practice at. But let's say you are looking to practice an hour, right, to get really good results or pretty good results. You want to, every day during that month, make that commitment, sit down for an hour, and then what I want you to do is I want you to write out your practice routine, with number one being your warm-up, right? So number one should be scales, Hannon, Cherny, things like that. Number two should be, I guess, whatever the first song you have, and then whatever down the list would be the next songs. And then as you progress each day, I want you to begin writing down or maybe starting the measures or highlighting them somehow, the measures that you have the most trouble with. And then the next day when you practice, go and start on those measures. Don't start from the beginning of the song. So do that. So commit to this practice routine for a month. Whatever practice you're getting right now, up it a little bit, right? So if you're getting half an hour a day, up it to 45 minutes, up it to an hour. If you're getting an hour, up it to 2 hours. If you're getting 15 minutes, up it to half an hour. Whatever you're doing, do more of it this month. Get more time in, practice an extra day. You know, if you only get 6 days in, try to get 7. If you only get 4 days in, try to get 5. The whole goal of this thing is to bump everything up a level, push you a little bit further than your comfort point, and there is where you will find success. Remember, focus plus practice equals what? Equals results, right? Focus plus practice equals results. So for the next month, I want you to commit to a regular practice schedule. You know, take everything to the next level, write down your practice routine and follow that. And then you also want to practice the areas you struggle with. Follow this for 1 month, and I guarantee you'll see a huge improvement in your playing. So try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments, what kind of progress you made, or what questions you have about this little assignment. So that's your assignment for next time and your steps to success. All right, students, so there's something I really want to tell you about, and that's you want to check out the lesson that I made called The 5 Mistakes You Must Avoid When Learning How to Play the Piano. It's a really great follow-up to this lesson and really helps reinforce the topics we talked about today. So really check that out. Make sure you check that out. The link will be in the description. And one more thing is you want to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because we have new lessons coming out every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you really don't want to miss out. So this has been Tim from Lessons on the Web. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Remember, our goal is to help you achieve your dream, learning how to play the piano. So I'll check you later and talk to you in the next lesson.